Welcome everyone. My name is Mary Eleanor Power, and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications for Dalhousie University's Faculty of Open Learning and Career Development. And I'm so happy to welcome you to today's webinar, where we'll be covering all of the certificates and some short courses in our technical and engineering program area. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that Dalhousie University sits on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treaty people. We also acknowledge the histories, contributions, and legacies of the African Nova Scotian people and communities who have been here for over 400 years. And with me, I have my two colleagues, Amit and MacDonald. Udeni is our program director for this area, as well as a few others, and MacDonald is our program manager, and they'll be here to for us to tag team on making sure that you get all the information that you need. Let me now move us along to our second poll, and this is really just for us to gauge what brought you here and learn a little bit more about you. So here we're asking, what are you interested in learning more about today? So if you could click on, I believe you're able to click on one, but just let us know what area this list represents all of the certificates we offer in this program area. So we'd love to know what brought you here today. We'll give you a few seconds and then we'll share the results. So we have 5 people who have responded. I'll just give us a few more seconds. Okay, that's great. All right. So we have 3 people interested in construction management. That's great. Maintenance management and technical writing and structural engineering for architects and non-structural engineers. So fantastic. Thanks so much for letting us know. And then we also would be interested in knowing what your preferred style of learning is. So here we're giving you a few options. Either you'd like to learn online at your own pace with no scheduled live sessions, online at your own pace with scheduled live sessions hosted by an instructor, or online mostly at your own pace with a few scheduled live sessions by an instructor, or face-to-face. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Shala. We hope to be able to share our experience and share some information with you. Thanks for including that in the chat. Okay, and let's share the results. So here you're telling us that you prefer online mostly at your own pace with a few scheduled live sessions by an instructor. So certainly what we're seeing here is that you prefer the online option, the majority of you, and that you do enjoy that instructor involvement, which is fantastic. So that's actually something that I want to start with, which is as we walk through all of the certificates, I want you to keep in mind that all of these are offered asynchronously, which means that you can take these certificates at your own time, at your own pace, and you can register at any time. So please keep that in mind as we're walking through these certificates. And then Udeni, when I finish the formal part of the presentation, she'll share those certificates that are also offered in a synchronous format where the instructor facilitates the sessions. So let's get started. We have a lot of information to cover today. All right, so here are the certificates that we'll be covering: AutoCAD, chemical engineering, construction management, all of those that were listed in the areas of interest just a minute ago. So we'll walk through each of these in some high-level detail. So let's start with AutoCAD. So there are 3 courses as part of the AutoCAD certificate. It requires the successful completion of those 3 courses within 3 years of enrollment. So you'll have 3 years to complete those courses. And you'll learn AutoCAD fundamentals, basic object construction, dimensioning, and plotting, and how to create architectural drawings. The course format is online and self-paced, as I just mentioned, and it's recommended for just a variety of industries or of professionals, engineers, architects, carpenters, estimators. And here you'll see those required courses listed here. So there's a getting started introductory course, and then you move into more detail in the 2 following courses. Now let's move along to chemical engineering for non-chemical engineers. So this certificate gives you knowledge of the basics of chemical engineering and advanced concepts from a practical point of view. So there are 4 courses, and you're required to complete those 4 core courses within 3 years of enrollment. So you'll learn the basics along with the 3 elements of process plants, different process discipline deliverables, and the impact of process plants on 3 elements of the environment, so air, water, and soil. And we really focus on the practicality that you can apply a lot of these learnings to your job immediately after completing the certificate, and even as you're working your way through it. The course format is online and self-paced for all of those courses. And here you can see who it's recommended for, along with the 4 required courses. And like the AutoCAD certificate, and as you'll probably see throughout this presentation, that there's the introductory overview in the first course, and then it digs deeper into more specific topics. Okay, so next we have construction management, and this certificate, so a few of you expressed interest in this certificate. So here you will gain some skills in project planning, quality control, risk management, procurement, contracts, labor relations, and more. So it really does cover a variety of topics, important topics within that industry. There are 3 required courses, and those need to be completed again within 3 years of enrollment. So what you'll learn, so it will give you an introduction to professional construction management in practice, types of construction projects, the phases of construction projects, risk management, insurance and dispute resolution, and then health and safety and labor relations. So it really does cover a wide variety of topics, and then you can see the required courses here. And who it's recommended for, again, this is online and at your own pace. And I would mention that Mark is adding in the links to all of these certificates in the chat. So you can certainly go in and see some specifics on these courses. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, all of these certificates you can register for at any time and start your courses at any time. Electrical engineering for non-electrical engineers. And I think this would be a good opportunity for me to pause and tell you that all of the instructors for our engineering certificates, and frankly, for the majority of the certificates in this portfolio, are taught by people who are practicing engineers or practitioners in their related field, or are just recently retired. So these are certainly people who come with a wealth of knowledge, but also relevant, timely knowledge, because as we know, sometimes requirements, regulations change. And so it's, we certainly want to emphasize that these are practicing professionals in their respective fields. So electrical engineering for non-electrical engineers, not surprising, a lot of similar characteristics across the different certificates. So there are 4 courses in the certificate, and they do need to be completed within 3 years of enrollment. And then what you'll learn, fundamentals, different types of equipment, engineering design, and implementation. And again, course formats online, self-paced. And so this is both recommended for non-electrical engineers and really those who are kind of communicating with electrical engineering personnel. and who want to move into the field of electrical engineering application. So really, this is about kind of understanding the terminology and understanding the industry. So as with the others, you'll cover the basics in the introductory course and then move into more specifics in the following 3 courses. So HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So this is 3 courses and needs to be completed within those 3 years. And we'll cover all of the different aspects of installing and then controlling HVAC costs. So we'll kind of teach you the life cycle of installing to maintaining. It's online and can be taken at your own pace and recommended for estimation technicians, building comfort analysts, and more. And it really does walk you through that cycle, that life cycle of basics to understanding and then implementing. And now I'll pass it on to Mark. I'll pass it off to Mark just for a moment to walk us through the home inspection certificate.
Sure, thanks, Mary Eleanor. The home inspection certificate is a total of 10 courses, which you'd have to complete over a total of 5 years. We run the home inspection programs 3 times per year, from January to the end of March, and then we have a month break, and then we run them again from May to the end of July, another month break, and then we run them again from the 1st of September until the end of November. There are no live facilitated sessions with the instructors. However, you do have due dates for your assignments and exams. Basically this program prepares you for the National Home Inspectors Examination. And you can see just what Mary Eleanor has on the slides there, the required courses. Each course is very specific, and they're very hands-on in terms of what you will learn, and you will run through various field assignments and and exams as well. All of the content is provided by Carson Dunlop, which is the industry leader in Canada for home inspection, and this certificate is recommended really for anybody, established home inspectors with the need to kind of stay up to date in their industry, or those wanting to enter this profession. We've seen an uptick in our registrations over the past few years, assumably due to the housing crisis in Nova Scotia, but we are seeing quite a few registrants for this certificate these days. One more thing I'll just mention, you can take more than 1 course per semester, but we do not recommend taking more than 3 at one time. So the fastest you could finish this is just over a year if you wanted to. So that's a question that often comes up with students, like how quickly can I obtain the certificate?
Wonderful, thanks, Mark. Okay, let's move along here. Just there we go. So maintenance management, and I think a few of you were interested in this certificate as well. So this certificate is again 3 courses and needs to be completed within 3 years of enrolling in that first course. And this is a specialized program for maintenance management professionals. So it will introduce you to the topic, how to evaluate your operation, how to plan, coordinate, and schedule maintenance, and proper usage of preventative and predictive maintenance in your own operation. And so this, again, the certificate is online, self-paced, and recommended for the following roles. The required courses: Introduction to Maintenance Management, Maintenance Planning and Scheduling, and Preventative and Predictive Maintenance. And now we have Mechanical Engineering for non-mechanical engineers. And this certificate is 4 courses, and again, needs to be completed within 3 years of enrollment. And similar to the other certificates, you probably have noticed that we do have a few of these certificates, but in different disciplines, chemical engineering being one of them. And so here you could expect the same sort of flow and format where you will be taught the basics and then move into more detailed topics as you move through the courses. Again, online and self-paced, and recommended for those who want to better communicate with mechanical engineers or to move into the field. Process engineering for control practitioners. So here you'll master the basic concepts and as well as the engineering and functioning of systems. This certificate is 3 courses, needs to be completed within 3 years. And so really focusing here, as we do on all of these certificates, that practical approach. And you can see some of the more specifics that the instructor will dive into in the following courses. So recommended for technical and supervisory personnel, including the following: online, at your own pace. And here are the 3 courses that will be covered in that certificate. Structural engineering for architects and non-structural engineers. So this certificate is 4 courses, again, to be completed within 3 years. And you can see the different topics that you'll learn throughout those 4 courses. And as with the others, it's online at your own pace. And you do move through the different materials that you will use as a structural engineer, and then, but also how to communicate with structural engineers if you are not in that role specifically, but how to best communicate with those in the role, and also working with building inspectors. So it's recommended for people who kind of work in that space, and relevant to also that construction management certificate as well. There perhaps there's some connection there. Technical writing. So this is a very popular certificate within this portfolio, and there are 4 courses, 1 required course, and then we have 5 electives here, but I'm wondering if that's incorrect, Udeni. Is it 5 to choose from, right?
It's 5 to choose from, but you have,
okay,
you have to do 4 in total. Yeah.
Okay, great. And there are 4 courses within that need to be completed within the 4 years. And you'll learn a variety of topics, including how to analyze your audience using 3 different methods, best practices, ways to analyze your document stakeholders. So lots of different topics covered within this certificate. It's online, it can be taken online at your own pace, and recommended for a variety of roles, anywhere from engineers to project managers. And you can see that the required course here in the middle, I'm hovering over it here, is Technical Writing Essentials. And there are 5 electives you can choose from, and you would choose 3 of the 5 that are listed here. And now I will pass it on to Udeni, just to cover, to kind of share with you what of these certificates are offered in that synchronous format, where the instructor would walk you through the course, as well as touching on these individual courses.
Thanks, Mary Eleanor. So I'll talk about the certificates that are offered synchronously. So instructor-led is first, and then get to these courses. Some of you had expressed interest in some of them that will be led by an instructor. So AutoCAD, construction management, and structural engineering for architects. They're all taught by the same person. Her name is Iman Al-Ali, and she's an engineer who lives in Ontario. She's had over 25 years of experience in all kinds of aspects of engineering and in many countries. So the AutoCAD course she'll be teaching starting in September, and that's on Wednesday nights. September 14th is when it starts, and all of our courses are taught between 8 and 9 p.m. Atlantic time. So that's an important thing to note for those in different time zones. They're also, the sessions are also recorded so that if you do miss one, you can catch up. So the AutoCAD is on September 14th. Construction management is the next night, September 15th, which is on Thursdays, again, 8 to 9 p.m. And then the structural engineering actually starts on September 13th. So she's going to be very busy in September, 3 nights in a row, teaching 3 different certificates. And again, it's so September 13th for the structural engineering for architects and non-structural engineers. And again, that'll be 8 to 9 p.m. And then there are a couple of others that we offer with instructors leading. Let me see, the HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So that's ones actually won't be starting until January of next year. So January 10th, 2023, which is a Tuesday night, same time frame. And then maintenance management, which is taught by Joel Levitt, who actually wrote the book on maintenance management, and it is the textbook for the course. That starts on September 14th, which is a Wednesday night, and that's from 8 to 9. And process engineering for control practitioners, which is taught by Mo Togre, that starts on September 21st, which is also a Wednesday night. So you have, depending on what your interest is, you know, it's 1 night a week, and with a live session with the instructor. So those are for the courses, the certificates that are actually offered with both options. So you can do it entirely on your own or with an instructor-led version. So getting to these courses, the accident investigation and the wood dust explosion. So these are basically suitable for anyone that has any OH&S or environmental hazard management in their responsibilities. And basically it teaches you when an accident happens, how to record it, how to investigate it, how to report on it. So unfortunately, we do not have dates scheduled for this yet, but we will have those up on the website soon. It is instructor-led. David Powers is the instructor, and it's a really good course, and it's very relevant for all the industries and all the other certificates we've talked about. Wood dust explosion is another one that is great. So John Baczynski is the instructor for that. And we do have dates for that. It's on a Thursday and a Friday, October 20th and 21st, and then October 27th and 28th from 1 to 4 p.m. Atlantic time. And this is for anything, any pulp mill, any mine, anything where there are combustible particles in the air. So again, these 2 courses, you know, that we always try to avoid the accident, but it's good to know how to report on it. And the wood dust explosion it's a prevention course. So those are coming up, or at least that one's coming up in October. So yeah, that's it for the courses that are kind of standalone courses. So back to you, Mary Eleanor.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that we have one person raising their hand, so I'll just wrap us up here and then happy to answer questions. So just wrapping up here with a reminder, if you haven't found us already through these 3 channels, then certainly I would encourage you to follow us. We share information on upcoming courses, remind you of dates, and also notify you of upcoming webinars like this one that might be of interest to you. So certainly you can find us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on our website, dal.ca/open-learning. So I am happy to open up the chat for any questions. Well, it's already been open throughout the webinar, but we do have 5 minutes remaining in our time together. Rupa Vathi, I hope that I am pronouncing your name correctly. Please correct me though, if not. I see that you have your hand raised, and I noticed that you added a question in the Q&A. So I'm just going to unmute you here and feel free to ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
And I see sorry, I see your question here about Mark and Udeni. I'm not sure if you can see in the Q&A here. Yeah, thank you for providing your background, a bit of your background to us. And I'm not sure that we can provide kind of the concrete answer, but and so for those who are also on the call, just a question around, and perhaps some of you are in a similar situation where you're working outside of Canada and are curious as to, and perhaps have an engineering background and are curious as to what you might be able to take or courses that might help you get a job in Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Rupavati, do you want to elaborate on your question at all?
Yeah, but I need to, I mean, I just want to do the certificate courses here. So could you please tell me how these courses will be helpful for me to get a job here?
Yeah, Udeni?
Sorry, I'm not, the courses will help in the context of familiarizing you with perhaps more Canadian content. But in terms of, you know, the job prospects, again, it's really, it is getting that experience, right? Which is difficult. But I can definitely follow up with one of our instructors to see, you know, what the possibilities are. We can access Rupavati's email address, right, Mary Eleanor, through this? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so, yes, so perhaps we'll follow up with you separately by email. We have your email from when you registered for the webinar, and then can perhaps have one of our instructors follow up with you and give some advice. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Any other question? Oh,
I see one from Lucy Como. Maintenance management starts September 14th. So this is the instructor-led one. So you can do either. You can start and take the course at your own pace. So if you want to start sooner than September 14th, that's what I would advise. But if you want to actually have the instructor there, giving a lecture, talk every week, then you would start in September 14th with that course. Does that make sense?
I'll just add to this, Udeni,
Yeah.
the difference between kind of the asynchronous and the synchronous courses in terms of maintenance management. Exactly what Udeni said. The synchronous session starts on September 14th. This course would have, or course section, I should say, would have a start date and an end date. And once a week, you would have live sessions with Mr. Levitt, the instructor. However, you can take it asynchronously. You could start today if you wanted to. And in terms of those recorded sessions, they are in there in the course space. You can access them. They're just ones from from last year. They're pre-recorded. That's really the only difference. The one other major difference, I should say, obviously there's no start or end date for your asynchronous if you took it asynchronously, and obviously you wouldn't have any due dates for assignments or exams.
And one thing to note for the asynchronous versions is that the instructors, they're not there teaching, but they are available for you by email. So if you run into any problems, you don't understand something, you can email them and they will respond. So it's not like we leave you completely on your own in the course. So yeah, we can help you if you need some explanation.
okay. We have someone else raising their hand. So Shala has a question.
Oh,
that's great. I've just unmuted you. There you go. There. Fantastic.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
no.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. I'm from Kurdistan, chief civil engineer, and I have about 24 years of experience in my field. I have just a question, to what extent this certificate be benefit for us in our daily life, in our work? And are the certificate licensed from Dalhousie University? The second question is that those certificates are licensed from Dalhousie University?
Yeah, you will get a certificate, a printed certificate from Dalhousie University. But all of these certificates are non-credit, right? So they are meant for people that are already working and just need kind of to find out about some aspect of mechanical engineering or construction management that they don't know. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
I want to just to participate in construction management
Right.
course, and that will be started, will be in the next September 15th, as you explained it before.
Yes.
And I so happy to participate in this course, and I will continue with you. But I have just one question, that it will be continue to 3 years and weekly, just one time in a week. They will be in just one time in a week or more?
Hi. Yeah, I'll take this one, Udeni. I think you're confusing the asynchronous and the synchronous course delivery options. So the one in September, which starts on September 14th, that would actually end on November 3rd. So you would take the entire course within that time frame. That's course 1 of the certificate. Course 2 of the certificate would run from it's January 12th until February 16th in 2023. That's course 2 of the certificate. And then course 3 would run sometime in May of next year. So you would finish, if you took it that way, you would finish the certificate by the end of like June next year. However, if you wanted to take it asynchronously, this is self-paced. You could register today. You could start today, and from the start date, for example, today, you would have 3 years to complete the certificate. But most students complete it within a year. But like I said, it's self-paced, so you can go at your own speed.
Okay. Can I register now, just today?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And it will be on my schedule? It will go in my schedule?
Yeah, well, how about if you wanted to touch base with me over this, I can give you more information on the actual certificate. What I'll do is I'll type my email in the chat, if I can bring it up here. And then if you want to email me later today, I can give you more information and go through it with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you for your questions. I don't see any other questions, but I'll just pause here for a moment and I just remind everyone, because I think there were a few people who joined us after we started, that today's webinar has been recorded, and we will provide the recording through from our YouTube channel. And that will be emailed to everyone who joined us today, along with a link to a listing of the certificates that we covered today. So you can refer back to those links that Mark had included in the chat. You'll receive them in an email. So keep an eye out in your inbox. Check your junk folder. If it doesn't arrive in your inbox in the next few hours, it might land there as well. I do see another point in the chat. Oh, that was you, Mark. Thanks. So Mark's included his email. If any of you have any questions, feel free to email Mark. I think we can wrap up there. We're a few minutes over our time, but that's perfectly okay when we have some great questions coming in. So let me just see. Okay, we have no more raised hands and no more questions. So thanks everyone so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. If it's the evening, morning or mid-afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.